know why that individual has a camera. Has a what?
Because it's a public meeting.
Well, unlike providing.
It's a public meeting. That's the end of that discussion, quite frankly. A mass purchase of 65 memberships equaling 130 votes was made on the last day of voting. These memberships, with the ballots attached, all paid for in cash, all without phone numbers, were for people who had never before voted in a CHCA election. 49% of the voters were not residents of the state of Pennsylvania. Source, the local. Before questions were raised about these votes, Dina Hitchcock, Vice President of Operations, and also seeking re-election, ordered the ballots not be kept in the CHCA office. Source, Carolyn Hauserman, Judge of Election, the local. This was a violation of the 2007 CHCA Rules of Election. Number 26, quote, all ballots will be kept for 30 days in the CHCA office, unquote. The judges of election, an independent body in any election, kept the ballots, never placing them in the office. Written requests by the local and the former president of the CHCA were made to examine the ballots. They were denied. This was a violation of the 2006 CHCA Rules of Election, which were never amended. Quote, all ballots, including those disqualified, will be saved for 30 days and will be available in the CHC office for examination during that time. And finally, the ballots were destroyed by the judges of election, again acting on orders by Dina Hitchcock. The source, Carolyn Hauserman, Judge of Election in the local, and in nowhere in the CHCA Rules of Election is there a provision for any destruction or disposal of the ballots. Dina, you broke the rules of the election 3 different times. Carolyn Hauserman said so. She pointed her finger right at you. Now the judges acted not independently, but on your orders. And furthermore, you were running for that same election. How dare you tell the judges of election to sequester votes and then destroy them, not only in violation of the rules, as I have quoted, but during an election in which you were on the ballot. We're all really ticked off about this.
Copy of the election rules which I read for 1996 said that the ballots should be kept in the office. However, that's in direct conflict with the fact that this is a secret ballot, and they should not be examined by anybody except the committee that counts and the judges.
I just read the rules.
Ed, you spoke. Somebody else's time now. Ed,
I probably have things to say, but look, we're having a discussion about the election. Can we stop attacking people and talk about what went right and what went wrong and how to fix it if it's gone wrong, instead of making personal accusations? If you want to say someone did something, that's fine. But then going further than that, I'm sorry, but let's try to keep this in
I quoted Carolyn Hauserman.
I don't have a problem with that, but saying shame on you, Dina, that's not right.
and Spade.
I think it's important to recognize that the bylaws state that the ballots are secret. There was a provision in the election procedures which were approved in March of this year for the treatment of secret ballots, which said that a judge, before he read the vote of a secret ballot, and since they were all being regarded as secret ballots, in accordance with the bylaws, the judges should have cut off the names before they counted the votes. If that had been done, there would have been no problem with people examining the signatures, which was stated by Mr. Recco at the Executive Committee meeting in May, that he wanted to examine signatures. There was objections from Ms. Hitchcock and from James Becker, who attended that meeting, saying you need a signature examiner, a specialist in signatures, to be able to tell whether they were all done by the same person. But it has been said that no requests were made to observe the signatures, but just the ballots. It was very specific in May that and Ron wanted to examine the signatures to see if they were done by different people or all by the same person. I also wrote the judges and asked to see them.
Why were they denied?
At that meeting, and, can you hear me?
Yes.
At that meeting which you attended, also the following was read, and this is one of the bylaws, our bylaws. The judges of election, in consultation with the community manager, and at the time we did not have a community manager, have sole authority to determine the validity of the ballot. So at that time, what was stated, for the integrity of the ballots in that ballot box, in order to safeguard it, no person other than the judges of election, according to the bylaws, have the right to examine the ballots.
You
At that
removed
time-
the
and at that
ballots.
time-
You hid the ballots. Validity has no bearing on removing
You're gonna have to
destroying
explain.
the ballots.
You spoke and interrupted.
People are gonna talk to this, just wait, you're wasting time. Wait for an answer.
I got pissed off.
Wait
that
for an
time-
answer, would you please?
He won't answer my question.
Let's hear an answer. For one.
At that time, Mr. Echo was directed by the unanimous decision of the executive committee, if he has a complaint, to put it in writing.
He did.
Give it to the judges of election. The judges of election will investigate his complaint and give him an answer to his complaint in writing. So both the complaint is in writing for the record, and the answer of the judges in writing for the record. And the reason for that was because the judges of election, in consultation with the community manager, had the sole authority to determine the validity of the ballot. This is what Mr. Eccles was told, and he was asked, will you please file that complaint with the judges of election? And he said, you will read it in the local.
He also wrote an email. Noreen, did he write an email? Noreen said he wrote an email. That's writing.
You're not organized.
Yeah, but I'm still speaking the truth, and you're not.
Other people in this room will probably have questions. I want to hear from them.
Listen for a second, if you allow me for a second. His email was for him to bring the ballots to CHA so he can examine the ballots. And that was not going to happen because the judges of election were not going to allow him to review
All
the
ballots, including those qualified, will be saved for 30 days and will be available. You're out of order! This whole meeting is out of order! And I thank Al Pacino for supplying me with that order. Now you're lying! You are lying! Ron wrote an email, and you're saying it's not in writing. That's not true. Verification is not hiding